What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, put it on all so you get notified as soon as we drop new content on the channel. So let's get into this one. Last night we had some action in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, over there in America. It was in a place called Manchester, I believe. And so we had Demetrius Andrade versus Jason Quigley. Both men had boxed in the Olympic Games. Good amateur pedigree on both sides. Andrade was that bit better, but yeah, Quigley was a good amateur. A lot was expected of him, but he hasn't really lived up to the potential in terms of what he was as an amateur, an international amateur. He hasn't really sort of lived up to that potential in his pro career. So this was an opportunity for him, a golden opportunity, as Andrade, he's been a world champion for a while. 5 defenses at middleweight and whatnot, and he's also been light middleweight champion with the WBO. So this was one of those fights where it's not a crossroad fight, but it's one of them where for Quigley it was a golden opportunity to do something, make something of himself, upset the apple cart, win an actual world title. And for Andrade, he was the wide favourite going into this, and this was one of those fights where he needed to make a statement, because he ain't been able to get Canelo in the ring, or GGG in the ring, or Charlo in the ring, or any of them in the ring. And that's what he really wants to do. That's what he needs to do for his career, but he ain't been able to do it. So this fight here was a fight where he had to win, and win in style. And fortunately for Andrade, that is exactly what he done. He come in there and he won the fight, won it in style. It was one of those where most people were expecting it to go long. I myself was sort of expecting it, to go long, and possibly if Quigley performs, maybe go into the late rounds or into points. Who knows? Because Andrade, he's got this habit of hurting people early, like he hurt Liam Williams early, and then he let him off the hook, and then he come on stronger later in the fight, sort of thing. So he's one of the that just seems to be the pattern with his fighting. He hurts you early, but then he lets you back in the fight. So a lot of people were suspecting that's what's going to happen this time, but Andrade, he didn't allow that to happen. Fight starts off round one. Round one, very, very cagey. For Quigley was just sort of standing off of Andrade, allowing Andrade the space and time, and Andrade wasn't doing much himself in round one. They were just sort of feeling each other out. Andrade sort of tried a few things here and there. Quigley was using a good few feints, but one thing I noticed about Quigley was he was making this mistake that a lot of orthodox fighters make against southpaws and vice versa, which is he was moving, I suppose it would be to his left, and that when he's moving towards his left, that always, when you do that as an orthodox fighter against a southpaw, it's dangerous, because when you move to your left, you're moving right into the path of the southpaw left hand, the left cross. So he was moving into that danger area. He was getting away with it. He landed a few shots himself, but it wasn't really much to write home about the first round. Neither man really impressed for most of it. But towards the end of the round, that was when something did happen. Bit of fireworks did happen, where Andrade just lands a beautiful, good right hook. And it's all with Andrade, because he's so long, and so he's got long arms, very long reach. I think 73-inch reach or something like that. And he was just able to get round the guard, bang, nice right hook, and it scrambled Quigley for a bit. He survived it, did Quigley. He managed to survive, get through a bit. But then Andrade just piled it on him a bit more. Boom, 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 threw a few more shots, little combination. And then Quigley just sort of bundled down to the ground. And that was pretty much the highlight of the round, was that hurtful shot. Apart from that, there weren't really much in it. It was just guys feeling each other out, both using a high guard. you just notice that Quigley moving to that danger zone, to the zone where the left hand can come in and gets caught with the right hook, and that was really the highlight of the round. So that round was gone. Not much action, but good finish to it by Andrade. Second round comes about, and it's a lot of the same stuff, really. Just, both guys just feeling each other out, working, feeling not really much landing. But Andrade was trying out his power shots, trying out the hooks again, throwing these left hands from awkward angles, and he manages to knock down Quigley again. Good shot, and this time it's quite heavy. It's much heavier than the first round. But to his credit, Quigley showed his toughness in that he gets up, holds his hands high, shows, I'm ready to continue. And but Andrade knew, you could tell that he knew, right, this guy's gone. But the ref allows it to carry on because he's got a bit of sense about him, has Quigley. Lets it carry on, does a ref, and then, Andrade's just stalking him, and then he just jumps on him again. Boom, 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 boom. Combination, start with the right hand, and, he just bashes him up again. Boom, 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 boom. Lands combination. Quigley goes down to the floor. You can see he's badly hurt. The referee doesn't bother, with the count anymore, and finishes the count, just waves it off. And that was all she wrote. So, overall, good victory for Andrade. It was exactly what he needed, because a lot of these guys are saying what Canelo say, you're a horrible fighter. So he did need, as I said in the beginning, needed to win in style. And for in my view, this was the sort of perfect victory for him. Second round knockout, fights a guy who's levels below him, and he just makes it show. Second round knockout. I think it's the perfect result for him. It's the result that he really desperately needed. And after the fight, he was calling them all out, talking about Canelo, talking about Triple G. I think he was talking about Charlo. It was really on the high, saying, look, I've knocked this guy out. I've shown this guy's not on my level. And he said, look, it's up to you guys, the fans, to campaign for these fights. Get me in the ring with Murata, get me in there with Triple G, get me in there with Charlo, get me in there with Canelo. I want them all, sort of thing. What have I got to do? I'm knocking out my guys, I'm knocking out my opponents. What am I going to do? And he said to the broadcaster from the zone, he said, you see, it's your job, mate. It's your job to get me this fight. Yeah, you get me in the ring with this. And then Eddie Hearn came over. He goes, Eddie, you got to get these guys in the ring with me, man. You got to make these fights happen, blah, blah, blah. And Eddie came in and was just clapping his hands, saying, yeah, give him the good fights, and, let's get it on. Charlo doesn't want it, and they're, talking a bit of smack and stuff. And, it was that's what we want to see, really, after all. And I think we as the fans, we got to speak out on these issues, and, we want the best to fight the best, because I think at the end of the day, what we know is that, look, Charlo, he's one of the best middleweights. We know GGG is definitely one of the best middleweights. You could say he's kind of the number one, really, based on who he's fought and whatnot. But we actually don't know who's the best, because Andrade's a champion, Charlo's a champion, and Triple G's a champion. So, and all we know is they ain't fought each other. So I'm with Andrade there, where, they need to fight. These guys need to fight each other. And I think I'm hoping that with his performance like that, where he's just knocked a guy out in 2 rounds, and he showed, look, I am at the top level. Hopefully this will get these guys coming out of the woodworks now, and let's have it. Triple G is busy. I don't know who Charlo's taking on next, but I think they've got to get it on. Somebody's got to, step up to the plate, and let's clear it up. Let's get an undisputed champion. Canelo, he done it. He went to super middleweight. cleared it up for every champion there was to fight, beat every champion there was to beat, and now he's number one. Many people say, oh, the opposition's weak, it's this, it's that. But at the end of the day, he fought every champion, won every belt, and he's the undisputed. And that's really what I want to see at middleweight. Andrade, he seems keen on it. He said he wants to fight all the top boys. And he seems to have that desire to just collect all the belts, beat everybody. You got Munguia out there as well, who was calling out saying, yeah, Munguia's been my mandatory for years, and he just doesn't want the smoke. He don't want to fight me. And I suppose, yeah, for Munguia, yeah, he's a young boy, 25. And Andrade is an awkward opponent, so they're not going to be in any rush for that. But really, as a fan, I must say that I support what Andrade's saying there. Let's have it. Let's get all the champions together. Let's fight it out. Let's get somebody as the undisputed champion. I think that's what we want to see as fans, and I think that's what we deserve to see as fans. The divisions and the belts have been fragmented for way too long, and we need to get an undisputed champion in all the divisions. At middleweight, we know who the champions are, but we also know they ain't fought each other, and that is a problem. So let's hope we get these guys in the ring. And in the comment section below, just let me know what you thought of Andrade's performance. Were you impressed by it? Were you surprised by it? And what do you think about what he was saying afterwards, calling out the guys, calling out Munguia, Triple G, Charlo, Canelo? What do you think about that? Do you think he'll get any of these guys in the ring? Or do you think it will just keep going how it's going now, where everybody's just sort of avoiding each other and doing their own thing? I think there's a need for an undisputed middleweight champion, and I think it's possible, but we'll have to see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.